There you go.
Here now to react is Texas Congressman Louie Gohmert. He's a member of the House Judiciary Committee. And Congressman, I think what Melissa and I would rather talk about than the whole confusing issue about Porter, when and how much they all knew about it, is whether or not the FBI and the Justice Department were involved in spying on a political campaign and trying to interfere in the election somehow. And if individuals in the FBI and Justice were doing that, whether or not they're going to be prosecuted. Did we learn anything more about that today?
Well, it seems to me, David, that this was more like the end of the movie Animal House, where Ray is out there, the guy that's yelling all is well, as he's being trampled by people running crazy and rioting. He's got to decide. We know now that the DOJ at the top, the FBI here in Washington, not out in the field, here in Washington, was weaponized. And he has got to decide, is he going to be part of the problem that's got to be cleaned up, or is he going to continue to defend the problem as it was the problem, or is he going to actually get in and help us fix things? It doesn't help to continually come out and talk about all the rank and file greatness of the FBI. We know FBI agents across the country who are terrific. The problem was here in Washington.
And the notion that Republicans who have been defending law enforcement in the United States, that's one of the standard Republicans cut taxes and they defend law enforcement. That's what they do. So the idea that there's this cabal of Republicans to try to attack the FBI is ridiculous. But let me specifically ask you about something that's in the news, which is Susan Rice's email that she wrote to herself on the day Donald Trump was inaugurated, saying essentially that we do all our investigations by the book. What do you make of that?
Well, it's what somebody who has not been doing things by the book says as they're leaving office to make it sound like, gee, I was doing things by the book. I don't know of anybody that's been fooled by that email. That was a desperate attempt to cover their tracks after the tracks have already showed up. So it's really, I mean, that is so childish, David, for heaven's sake. It's something a child would do when they're caught red-handed. Oh, we did it all by the book. Oh, give me a break.
Well, in the meantime, besides speculation of what she might have meant for that, we have the Inspector General, who is essentially putting together a lot of evidence of whether or not there was politically oriented spying going on from the part of the Department of Justice or the FBI or both. Rather than having a second counsel, which might open up a whole nother kettle of worms there, why not just wait for the Inspector General to come out with his report, after which there may be some indictments?
Well, but the problem is there was the legal process was corrupted at the top of the FBI and the top of the DOJ. And so to have somebody that's part of the Beltway come in, I mean, Mueller, for heaven's sakes, he was the last person that should have been appointed to being a special counsel.
So it sounds like what you're saying is you are against another special counsel being appointed to look into this.
I've been pushing for a special counsel since I suggested it, President Trump last June.
But with all the problems that we've had with Mr. Mueller and his investigative team, wouldn't it be better just to rely on the Inspector General, who is neutral in this process, and the Congressional Investigative Committee?
That would great if the Inspector General could put people in jail, but somebody is going to have to impanel a grand jury and get to the bottom of these things, and we just can't have another Mueller, somebody that's been part of the system, that is close friends with people that are part of the system that need to be investigated. This has got to be somebody who is truly independent, and you know, the Democrats wouldn't trust Jeff Sessions. I would trust him implicitly, but there is too much that has got to be viewed from a position of outside. So yeah, we get the Inspector General report, but there has got to be a house cleaning, and people that have lied. See, David, the FISA judges should have already sent people to jail when they misrepresented things, not once, twice, 3 times, but 4 times. Somebody should have answered for that. And we see what happens when you're inside the system, like a FISA judge apparently sees themselves.
Congressman Louie Gohmert,
we got to clean it out.
We got to end it at that. Thank you very much for being here, as always.